Andrew McCart, iFLTV. I'm here with Pat Barrett himself. Pat, I've just spoke to your young prodigy there. 12-0, is he still a prodigy? In Niall Brown, but I spoke about that transition from that Muay Thai to the boxing, and he seems like a confident young man. How much enjoyment do you get training this young man in the gym?
I get a lot of enjoyment out of him because he's got a really, really good boxing IQ, and most kids in the gym do learn things, and to execute in their fight or in sparring, they don't do it. But what he'll do, he'll keep executing. Even if he's getting caught, he'll go over it and replicate it until he actually gets it. And it's like his defense. His defense is one of the best things that's going to take him all the way in boxing, because most fighters neglect their defense. Well, he will work on his defense in order to make his offense better, and that's what I think is beautiful about boxing. He's got a good boxing brain. He uses the jab well. He knows how to open his opponents up. He knows how to make his. He's a pressure fighter, but he makes you think when he's just there. I've watched him in sparring. He's had some great sparring. Great sparring he has with Lyndon. He learns a lot from that. Great sparring he has with a kid called Rizad. Considering he's never had an amateur fight, and his experience has just been in the gym and learning from myself and the lads that are there, is absolutely fantastic. So with every fight he's learning, with every outing he's getting better.
You mentioned that he's got a good boxing brain. Now he's went from the Muay Thai when you're kicking, elbowing, kneeing to just punching. Did you have to get into his brain to bring out that boxing IQ, or was that just a natural thing that came with him?
Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I think majority of it was a natural thing. I think teaching Niall is the easiest thing that makes me stay in the game, because he's such a natural towards it. He'll learn something, he'll replicate it and go over it until he masters it. And he reminds me of a fighter once that I trained back in the day, Scott Quigg. Again, he used to do that, coming from that kind of a crossover. And the difference with Niall is he's got this very elusiveness. He's versatile. He can box both ways, and he can hit with both hands. So he's definitely an interesting kid.
I spoke about the Lyndon Arthur spars and that, and he says sometimes when Lyndon's getting the better of him, he feels like just kicking him in the head. You ever seen that kick ready to go when he's sparring Lyndon? Yeah,
we've seen it once or twice. I think Lyndon's seen it as well. So Lyndon's been learning to do a bit of kicking himself now. So I keep thinking to these two, listen lads, it's boxing, not kickboxing. But no, on a serious note, I think he's learned a lot from Lyndon. The jab, he's learned how to avoid the jab. His defence has got better through sparring with Lyndon. And he works with Zelfa a lot on, Zelfa watches what Zelfa does on certain things that Zelfa does, that he does it on a bigger version. Honestly, this kid's got so much to offer in boxing.
I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. And he looks like a nice kid, a humble kid as well. But you mentioned Lyndon, you mentioned Zelfa. Can you give us any news on what's happening with them next?
Well, Zelfa's out hopefully on the end of the month. Lyndon's probably out next year. They're probably in a big fight. So, look, they're both in the gym and they're all both ticking over. So, until something comes up, then I'm just in the dark as you are, really, and waiting. But I think Lyndon will have something 100% big next year.
I'd be remiss of me not to ask you, Pat, since you are a veteran, not just in the sport of boxing here in the UK, but you're a veteran in the sport, and you've been in the sport a long time, let's say. And when you saw a legend like Mike Tyson fight somebody like Jake Paul, I know you're probably going to tell me to shut up, Andrew, you never weren't interested in it, but when you saw that fight or heard about that fight or saw the highlights, what was going through your mind?
You want me to be honest with you, I didn't watch it. I was going to watch it, but I ended up falling asleep, and really I'm glad I did fall asleep. I just asked someone who won it, and someone said Jake Paul, and to me, I'm glad I didn't watch it. It's disappointing. I'm not saying anything about thinking, but when you see Mike Tyson, of knowing him to be the kind of caliber fighter he is, then to go in the ring with really someone that couldn't even lace his boots, to say that he's beat him, it's, you don't go out like that. You go out to what you know. People will remember him being beat of Jake Paul, not for all the great things that he's done. So to me, I find that more like humiliating on his behalf.
Yeah, definitely. One final word on this young man here. I mean, he almost hinted that he's going to go for the knockout on Friday night. Is that what you're hoping for?
What we do, we don't go for the knockout. We'll create the knockout, and if he does go for the knockout, it's not what we've been working on in the gym. We worked on a lot of things that should create sensational things, and once that opens that door, he can pick that lock, then you can see what he can do. And that's what I'm trying to say with Niall, he's interested. So if he says that's what he's going to do, he knows how he's going to do it. He's not just going to go in there and try and knock him out. He's going to go in there and set the knockout up and create the knockout, and that's what he'll do.
I'm looking forward to it, Pat. Good luck, and I'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow, my man. Thank you very much. Thank you.